Wrong button. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Phlinger here, and I hope everybody's having a good day. Today we're going to be talking about the caves, kind of just like a caving 101, the things that you need to know before going into the caves, what to do inside the caves, how the caves actually naturally spawn, how the caves work, and some of the resources that you can get from the caves, because there's a lot of them. You can get a lot of really good caves. Now, on the map, you can actually see that there's, I mean, you have to go all over for like things like sulfur and the big palladium, nodes, and then also, let's see, coal, sulfur, stuff like that. But granted, you can actually find that stuff really easily inside the cave. So if you have a cave that's nearby your base, you can just keep that thing on farm for a while. It's actually really good. Okay, so, yeah, now when you get up close to the cave, you'll actually see they have a reset time. Now, the reset time will be displayed on the right side, and then it'll tell you that right now that the boss is active. Now, what happens is if you go in through and you kill the boss, that boss icon where it has the red face with the menacing horns, that won't be there until the cave resets. But other than that, you'll still get resources, you'll still get other things inside the cave. So you can only do the boss and get the boss's loot once per reset. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But the bosses in these things, they're actually really, really good. All right, let's head on inside of here and let's talk about a few things. All right, now the way that the caves are set up, it's kind of random. There are, think of it as like textiles or mini maps that are slotted together inside of the cave, and they are done so in a semi-random fashion, which means that this area that we dropped in right now, which also I'll tell you right now, there's also an exit right here. So if you want to leave, you can absolutely just leave the cave. You're not locked into this long run. So you can come in, get a few things, and then just leave and then come back later. But yeah, so the map for this is set in kind of like textuals for, say, like tabletop gaming. You have each room that is set up on one textile, and they're slotted together kind of randomly. Not totally randomly. Some are designed to fit next to others, while others are designed to fit next to different ones, if that makes sense. Once you've run the caves, you'll understand how that kind of happens. But the first time going through, it may be a bit confusing. Just remember, there's usually 4 walls, and then each of those walls may have a door that goes through it. Now, when you're using a PAL inside of here, I would recommend, because of the pathing currently at this stage in February of 2024 of early access, that the pathing inside the caves may be a little bit wonky. So I would recommend using smaller PALs just because their pathing seems to be a lot better inside of the caves. All right, now there's going to be a lot of syndicate ones. Depending on what level you go into, each one will get progressively tougher and tougher syndicates, and they seem to be doing a constant battle of trying to overtake all of the pals that are inside the cave. Now, inside the cave, you're going to have some ones that are just specific to caves, or you're also going to have ones that are specific to night. It'll kind of vary between the two. Sometimes you'll actually get both. It's kind of cool. But notice right here, in this opening chamber, there are actually some harder to get resources. There's the big palladium fragments, the ores right here. There's also sulfur right here. It's pretty good. You can come in, you can get sulfur for your early handguns and gunpowder. And then also here's a big thing of metal. So if you need to, there's a bunch of really good resources. Also, you can come in, you can find coal littered throughout this, and it makes things really, really easy for, you know, getting some early game resources, so where you don't have to go all over the map just to get a little bit. You can just go inside a neighborhood cave and then get a few things. All right, notice these ones right here. We've got fuddlers inside this cave, because this is the one I'm using for demonstration purposes. It's a lower level one, and fuddlers are kind of lower level. But if you want some early game miners, these guys are pretty good. So you can come in, get these guys. You can tame them just like any normal pal on the map. Also, this right here, notice as we've gone through, we've actually gotten to 2 more pieces of the map. Now we're on to the third section right here, and the third section is a split. Now we can go to the left and we can go to the right, and just remember that each one of these is going to continue going on. Where the boss is, we don't know. We're going to have to go through the whole map, and we're going to have to go find out. All right, so once we come through here, we're going to notice there's another battle going on. Now, we can help them, or we can take them out, or we could just go, you know, capture a Killamari. Killamari is actually pretty decent early game. All right, so notice that here we'll have some doorways. There's several different connectors. Like I said, they'll just keep going off onto their own. And some of them will go to treasure rooms. Some of them will go to the boss area. Some of them will go to different spots that actually have slightly tougher guys. And then some of them will just have resources. And it all really depends. Like this right here, it opens up into a resource room. And usually there's a treasure chest hidden back over here. All right. Save on pathing. We'll just throw you down there. Get those guys. You got this guy, or you need me to? All right, there we go. All right. Now, just to save on pathing, a lot of times it's just easier to pull in your pal and then just keep moving and then throw them back out whenever you need to, especially if you're using a bigger one. Smaller ones don't have that problem as much, but bigger ones do. All right, this room right here is just going to be a bunch of resources and a treasure chest. Like up there, there's some resources. Over here, there's some more resources. And yeah, all right, so now let's get over to another section. And while you're doing this, you can actually... for each cave, you can just grab a piece of paper, and then while you're running through this, just write a line as to what connects to different ones. You don't have to if you don't want to. It's just a thing that actually helps you kind of keep track of where certain things are, and yeah. But just remember, when you leave the cave, that map's going to be worthless, so yeah. All right, get him, Firefox. You got this. And also, you can find some really interesting ones. Like these mouths, they're pretty good. They drop coins if you put them in your ranch. Not too bad. They're not like, you know, super amazing, but they will give you a constant source of coins. Let's get going over to this side. Oh, and then also, this one right here... This little drop down, this is one that's kind of specific. This is, it looks like it's two that are connected, but it's actually just one. And it usually ends up with a chest. And we didn't luck out, we didn't get one of the better, oh, we did actually, we got a good chest. All right, not bad. Okay, but yeah, also if you want increased quality of weapons and armor and stuff, caves are generally one of the best ways of doing it. You get some pretty good loot from inside the caves. Matter of fact, if you're not used to doing the caves, I would recommend going and finding one of the beginner spawn areas, go inside that cave, and just farm it until you get really, really comfortable with the caves. Not something that, you know, will put you through a whole bunch of aggravation or anything like that where you're getting used to it. Just something you can kind of breeze through a little bit until you get really used to it. Because as you get higher level and you start getting into the higher level dungeons, these things start getting much, much tougher. But also, the rewards you get from them also seem to get much, much better, which is a really good trade-off. There's more fuddlers over here. All right, we're going to go back the way we came earlier, and we're going to take the water direction this time. Go see what this gives us. Now, the water direction, the water one, the only thing I would recommend on this, really, it's just, you know, glide around. Just make sure you're not out of stamina when you start gliding, because I have ran out of stamina right in the middle of that and almost drowned, which is one of those little minor things, but it'll be okay. Oh, and here we go. We got some daydreams. Really? I got your back, Daydreams. You got this. Alright, now all you are is, whenever you get into a new room, just look around and see where the exits are. And then, well, once you get, you know, everything kind of under control. And then go through. Now, when you get towards the boss, the end boss of the cave, sometimes you'll find a room like this. A room like this is just a blank square It looks cool. It really does. It has a cool appearance to it. But this right here, the boss will always be at the end of one of these. Sometimes you'll get ones that have a different lead up to the boss. There's actually, from what I've seen, there's 5 different, it's kind of like the pre-chamber to get to the boss. But yeah. All right, and then when you come up to the boss, which it appears that we've got a Gummoss in the end of this one. All right, so when you come up to the boss, you have a couple different decisions. One, you can tame it. The end boss is generally larger, and I kind of like that a little bit. I've got one that is a Tansy, and I just love it. It's amazing. And yeah, so if you come in, you get a really good boss that you like, just tame it, you know. This one right here, I'm not going to tame. I'm just going to take him out. But just know that these guys, they are generally tougher than your average guys because they are little cave mini bosses. But I'm overpowered for this cave. So yeah. So he's out. But as soon as the boss dies, just the boss, not his little ones, the barrier that blocks this will open up. So we don't really have to take out the little ones. I would recommend in a bunch of the end fights, the tougher caves, that you take out the little ones first and then aggro the big one. But sometimes you can kind of separate them, and that really helps you out. But in this case, we were just able to go towards the boss and just take him out. In the back, you'll usually have two chests, one on the left, one on the right. I've had these be of varying qualities, although I haven't had any that require keys in the back yet. That may actually be a thing. I haven't seen it yet. So usually it's just in the back, open up the chest, you get free loot. All right, now a lot of the loot you can get can be schematics, it can be the skill fruits, and then also it can be free tech points, which is generally pretty good. You'll usually get a gem or two or something that you can sell at a vendor, but yeah. All right, now that we've killed the boss, though, we have now put this cave onto respawn, and let's go show you. All right, let's leave, and it'll put us right back at the beginning. All right, let's turn right back around. Right here. And see, now it says that the cave will respawn in, 8.3 minutes, but the boss icon is no longer on there, which means that in 8 minutes, it'll get a new boss icon. We can go in and we can get a new one. But this, once we go in next time, then we caught this at the tail end of its respawn, so the respawn is going to take quite a bit longer, usually about 3 hours from what I've seen, maybe 2.5. But yeah. All right, so that is Caving 101. I hope this helped you out getting resources and everything. And I know that the caves can be a little bit intimidating because you go in there, there's really no way of retreat. There actually is. Just look towards the previous section that you just came to, run to it. If there's difficulty, you can kind of bounce between the two, although sometimes things will follow you. But yeah, just remember, it is randomly generated, but they are a load of fun. And then also you can get a ton of really good pals in there. Also, you can get some really good loot. All right, so hey, if the video helped you out, make sure you hit that like button. I really appreciate it. If you're new around here, subscribe. And until next time, this is Phlinger, and take it easy, everybody.